Hello, it's Patrick. Welcome to some more live Tesla news chat. I I would have just ended this, but I saw there was like 10 people online. Hopefully, we find the stream and are able to join back in again. I've been so excited, and I wanted to really talk with some people that are also excited about the full self-driving wide release beta that Elon announced, and it's pretty cool. So, like on Friday, Elon was saying that it's looking pretty good. Anybody else want to join the beta? We're looking at doubling it. They maybe had like 1,000 people before, so we want to do another 1,000, and then go wider, like 10,000 or something, with the next version that's going to come out, 8.2, and then 8.3 would be the wider one. So he's like, just let us know. And people are like, well, how do we let you know? And so everybody was replying with VIN numbers and things on Twitter, and it got to being tens of thousands of people. And they're like, well, actually email early access at Tesla and see if you can get in. So everybody was emailing them, and they were responding. Like mine said that they were going to forward it to engineers, which would be cool because I'd love to get it. But others were saying, that that the beta program was full. And then Elon said on March 6th, due to the high levels of demand, the full self-driving beta will be adding a download beta button to service section display of the car within approximately 10 days. Sorry, my laptop's dying. This live stream today is just not working as well as I had hoped. Seems like everything I do is not going to plan. But if you guys have any questions or thoughts, go ahead and put them in the chat because this is live. I am in Colorado at the Supercharger in Thornton, Colorado, topping off a loaner. So my sister got a Model S, a used one, and it had some seals that needed replaced around the full self-drive or the Falcon wing doors. Oh, that's loud. So that repair is being done. It should be done later today. I'm in a loaner Model S. I think it's a Raven, which is kind of cool, but it's nerfed. They have it speed limited. So it can't go more than 80 miles an hour, and it's stuck in chill mode. Cool. All right, so I got power now. Yeah, thanks to everybody for joining in and chatting. So the timeline, as of right now, Elon tweeted out again to kind of give a better update, like, who's going to be getting this full self-driving beta button on their computer. And basically, he's going to be anybody that's paid for full self-driving. So he's not just going to be doing the 2,000 people or 10,000 people. He's talking like the whole fleet is going to get this button. So this basically is the wide release of full self-driving in beta mode. And that's pretty cool. He says availability is going to vary by region due to regulatory approval, delays, and or Tesla internal development and testing. So, obviously they've been developing it the most in California, as along with most of the beta testers. But yeah, USA, Canada sounds like it's going to get it. I guess Europe's got some different signage and things, so it's going to take a little bit longer to be deployed there. He also said that, note the word beta is used to reduce complacency in usage and set expectations appropriately. All the software is tested internally by Tesla simulation and quality assurance drive teams. So, yeah, so he's saying this stuff's good. And I watched a video the other day of a Waymo driver with no driver in it versus somebody with beta full self-driving. And I think it was like a 12-minute drive on the Waymo, and it was only like a 9-minute drive on the Tesla full self-driving, both with zero interventions. Although in the Tesla, somebody had to be behind the wheel, ready to take over, and have their hand on the wheel. So if it's right now on par with Waymo in a lot of scenarios, that's pretty doggone impressive. And if it's that good, releasing it to people, that's fantastic. Although there was another video I saw on Twitter where somebody had already been in an accident and said they were on full self-driving and the car kind of ran off the road. So it tried to take an exit that wasn't an exit or something like that, or it used to be one and isn't now. I don't know the details, but the guy was like, I got it all on camera, and it's recording with the dash cameras, but his information was all wrong. He was saying like it was 12 cameras in the car and not 8, and it was bad. But that is the thing we're going to be afraid of, is if they're going to be releasing to this, I don't know how many people bought full self-driving. My guess, it's tens of thousands at a minimum, possibly hundreds of thousands at a maximum. There's over 1 million Teslas on the road now that have the full self-driving capable hardware. The question is how many people purchased it. And then also when this happens, they're probably going to do the subscription. So it's going to be a couple $100 a month, maybe, or maybe $100 a month, or $25 a trip or something, or maybe a daily rental. I don't know. Elon says it's still going to be a better deal to pay the $10,000 up front when buying a car versus leasing one. Is it Brent Breath the yeah. Sorry if I'm slaughtering your username. The Great says, do you think we will see Model 3 or Y range increase this year? They just increased the Model 3 and Y range like in November, so I really doubt it. The Model S and X got their update, and with the Plaid actually reduced the range a little bit because of the extra motor. But with the heat pump, I don't know. It increased the long range, but the performance went down. I don't know. But the new batteries are going to be in the Model S Plaid Plus. That's going to be out in the fall. Elon says by the end of the year. They're still testing those new cells. It's going to use those new battery cells, the large, Coke can looking ones, and they want to do a low volume production of those first. So obviously they're putting out their $150,000 car versus the $50,000 Y. Once they get mass production of those, that's when we'll see them in the 3, in the Y. And I imagine all the top end cars are going to get those first. And with the 500,000 or more Cybertruck pre-orders, and then all the Tesla Semi pre-orders, they're probably not going to be using those cells in the 3 and the Y anytime soon. My guess is probably 2 years before we see them in the 3 and the Y. Although they announced new tires with the S and the X, and there's other complexity that they're getting down with the unibody casting. So a lighter, less complex parts in the car. I wouldn't be surprised if the 3 and the Y get a slight bump in range from these other things. If you watch the Battery Day presentation, it's just all these little tiny things they keep doing to get a little bit of a better range increase. And some of this is as simple as software. They're able to kind of tweak the profiles so that you're able to get better range. So, yeah. Question is, big range increase? No. Little range increase? Probably. Probably again in the fall. They'll have like a slight bump from other little minor improvements. But thank you for the question. It looks like I'm finally done charging. Oh, wait, no, I've got 5 minutes remaining at my Supercharge here in Thornton, Colorado, at a V3 Supercharger. I'm charging at 1 kilowatt, 5 miles an hour, and I've added 207 miles of range. And this isn't a loaner. But this is pretty cool. If anybody has been following my channel for a while, I had a Model S to begin with, an 85D that I sold, and I purchased a Model Y 90D, or no, a Model X 90D, and my mom bought that from me, and I purchased a Model X Performance, a white one with Ludicrous, and so that's what I currently have. And I pre-ordered the new Plaid Performance X. So I'm actually selling that one if anybody's interested. Current going rate's about $92,000 on it, but it's a heck of a deal to get a Ludicrous Model X that's only a year old. It's the 7-seater with white interior, and it's white exterior. But yeah, I can't wait. So there's been a lot of thought, or a lot of pictures of the new yoke and whether or not we're going to get the new yoke instead of the steering wheel. I think it's going to be great because that top bar is always seems to be in the way of my view personally. I and since the car drives itself like 99% of the time, especially with the full self-driving coming out next weekend, back to the whole beginning of the show is supposed to be about the full self-driving. It's supposed to be out next weekend is what Elon's thinking, as long as the quality assurance goes okay, and then anybody who's purchased it can download it. That said, be incredibly careful, because the first person to screw this up, we're going to get it taken away from us or get it nerfed. Because autopilot, I was in the beta program for that, autopilot 1, and it was super picky. You had to have your hands on the wheel every 5 seconds or whatever during the beta. If it wasn't confident, it just simply would not run. Then they released the very first version of it. They took off those restrictions, and it was able to drive. Like, I literally drove from Las Vegas to Salt Lake with only a couple of interventions, and it literally went for almost 2 hours without having to put my hands on the wheel. It was that amazing. But then, of course, some idiots were riding in the back seat and doing some stupid things, and unfortunately it gave false impression of how well the system worked with the single camera. And unfortunately somebody lost their life, and then they really tightened down everything. So not only for your own safety, but just for everybody in general, when you do get this beta, it is called full self-driving beta. But the way they're filing it with the state of California for their full self-driving license, it's not full self-driving. They're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to say, well, no, actually, everybody's got to keep their hands on the wheel. It's a level 2 system. It's not a level 4 or 5 system or 3 system. Yeah, so they're saying we're still training it, and it requires 100% attention from the driver, and that they have to be, basically in control of the vehicle. So the full self-driving beta shouldn't be called that. It should be called the full self-driving training program, because it's learning from people, right? So basically, you want the best drivers, and this is what Elon had said last year when he said we wanted safe drivers to drive in the beta program, because it's learning. It's an AI neural net running on all the Teslas and learning from the way people drive. And I think with the latest version 9 was supposed to be the big update, where it's doing neural nets running on all the cameras that are all stitched together, instead of individually processing each camera and then kind of figuring out what to use. So that version 9 of the full self-driving beta is supposed to be like the one that was made for wide release. So it's very interesting that he's moving it up to be a wide release with 8.2, especially when 8.3 is in testing now. I don't know. I think it's the stock price or trying to get the sales numbers up by the end of the quarter, because it sounds like they got some delays on the new Model Ys and X's, because they were talking like they were going to have them delivered last month, at the end of the month possibly, or early this month. And now I heard that my Model X wouldn't be ready until May. So it's not going to make it by the end of the quarter, and they needed to show some revenue increase. And if they can release full self-driving, they can recognize the revenue from the sales of full self-driving. So everybody that's pre-ordered basically the full self-driving, they only recognize a certain dollar amount based on the functionality that's released. And the last thing they need to become the full functionality of the full self-driving is the city streets driving. So your right-hand turns, roundabouts, left-hand turns. That's that missing piece of the puzzle is ready. And it's just a matter of, Elon says, the march of nines. So it may be 99% reliable right now, but at 1 out of 10 times that you let it drive you, it kills somebody. That's not good enough. So maybe it needs to be 99.999. They want to have like 5 nines on there, because It'll never be 100% 100% safe, just because that's impossible. I mean, there's going to be other drivers or situations that it can't anticipate or handle no matter what. But as long as it's safer than a human driver, and Elon says, they have enough data to prove that, they think the regulatory, they could start lifting a lot of the restrictions on putting hands on wheels and things like that. They might start using that selfie camera. They're putting it finally in the Y and the X on the new ones. It hasn't been before, like it is in the, I meant in the S and the X. It's been in the 3 in the Y. You're welcome, chat. I'm gonna head out here. This 5 minutes has lasted like 20 minutes. I think the air conditioning running is keeping the battery from getting full. I don't know what's going on here. Anyways, thank you guys for joining. If you haven't watched my show, it's twosmartguys.com and teslatrip.com. I do all of my Tesla videos. I've moved over to the Tesla Trip, and YouTube's threatening to cancel my Two Smart Guys, which used to be like PSP Hacking 101 and we hacking video game consoles, just different electronics, getting the most out of them, taking ownership of your own devices, basically hacking them to do what you want them to do, not necessarily what the company wants you to do with them. So that my sons, I have 3 sons now, and the little tiny baby one in those videos is now a 14-year-old, and he's doing all kinds of his own little hacking stuff. So I think he's going to be the other Too Smart Guy, and we're going to start putting out some more videos here soon. And on this Tesla trip, I'm still trying to determine what everybody wants from this channel. I tried doing weekly videos, but it's so hard, and there's so many other people doing that for just the news. I think I'm just going to move more towards these quick chats when there's news, and doing unique little videos. Like I've got these little straps from EVNX for the Model Y for the little sub trunk, the little hidden trunk. I got a video I'm going to show on that. I've got a CCS adapter for the US that came from China, and how it works and how to update it to work, because the firmware it comes with doesn't work on like any charger. But after I updated it, I got it to work on the Electrify America charging network, about 67 or 78 kilowatts or so, and also on the PlugShare network. So EVgo does not work, and they even put out a statement saying they're not going to support third-party charging adapters that are not from the manufacturer. So that's not good news. They're offering a program, I think it was like $650, $700 for the adapter, but if you enter their testing program, you can get it for like $450, which I wish I would have known about. Maybe I'll contact them and see if I can get in on that for a second adapter or something. Thank you guys for watching so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. I got to get going. I'm going to go to Boulder. I got to pick up my sister's Model X, trade in this loaner. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining. Bye.